one of the NRL's biggest names could be rubbed out right when his team needs him most? Imagine your side preparing for a finals push, only for the judiciary hammer to come down and rip away your leader. Well, that nightmare has just become reality, because Patrick Carrigan is staring down the barrel of a potential ban. And is not the only one. Reece, Walsh and Walsh Hosking have also been charged, sending shockwaves across the league. Stick around, because what we're about to unpack is explosive. And trust me, the story takes a few wild turns you won't see coming. Before we dive deep, smash that subscribe button, join the community, and never miss a breaking update. You're watching Aussie NRL Updates, your home for the stories behind the scores. The NRL Judiciary Room isn't just where penalties are handed down, it's where seasons can be rewritten. For Patrick Carrigan, one of the Broncos' most reliable and inspirational forwards, this week could decide whether he remains the heartbeat of his side's engine room, or becomes a massive hole his teammates can't fill. Carrigan is facing a potential suspension after a tackle that left referees, fans, and even commentators debating whether it crossed the line. The footage has been dissected frame by frame. Was it just a strong hit in the heat of battle, or did Carrigan's technique slip into dangerous territory? That's the million-dollar question. And while the Broncos faithful are praying for leniency, the reality is harsh. The NRL judiciary rarely looks kindly on repeat incidents, especially in high-stakes matches. But Carrigan isn't the only headline. Enter Reece Walsh, the electrifying, unpredictable fullback whose talent is matched only by the drama that follows him. Walsh has been charged by the match review committee for a late incident that, on paper, might look minor, but could carry major consequences. Fans know Walsh. He plays on the edge, sometimes dazzling, sometimes reckless. And while his footwork can break open a defense, his discipline can just as easily break his team's momentum. The judiciary's eyes are on him, and the whispers suggest he might not escape with just a fine this time. For the Broncos, losing Carrigan is bad. But losing Carrigan and Walsh? That's catastrophic. And then there's Walsh Hosking. Not as flashy as Walsh, not as celebrated as Carrigan, but crucial nonetheless. Hosking has quietly built a reputation as a hard worker, a no-nonsense player who does the dirty work others shy away from. But now, even he's in hot water. Hosking has been slapped with a charge for dangerous contact. While some argue it was nothing more than a tough tackle gone wrong, the judiciary's stance will matter not just for him, but for the ripple effect it could have on his team's rotations and forward pack stability. So here's the burning question that's got everyone talking. Is the judiciary being too harsh, or are these punishments a necessary line in the sand? Rugby league has always walked the tightrope between ferocity and fairness. Too lenient, and player safety is compromised. Too harsh, and you risk changing the very fabric of the sport. Fans are divided. Some say Carrigan's hit was textbook aggression, what you need in finals footy. Others argue Walsh's antics, while exciting, can't be excused if they cross boundaries. And Hosking. Many reckon his tackle was just unlucky timing, not malicious intent. For the Broncos, this judiciary report feels like the storm before the storm. They're already fighting tooth and nail for position on the ladder, and the idea of taking the field without Carrigan, or worse, Carrigan and Walsh, could derail their momentum completely. Imagine being in that dressing room. Imagine the uncertainty. Every player is wondering, who's lining up next week? Who's not? That mental toll can sometimes hit harder than the suspension itself. And here's where it gets even more dramatic. Sources close to the Broncos have hinted that the club is preparing a full-scale defense for Carrigan. That means expert testimonies, video breakdowns, and legal firepower, all in a desperate attempt to clear his name. But will it work? Or will the judiciary see through it and drop the hammer anyway? Stick with me, because in the second half of this breakdown, I'll reveal exactly how these charges could play out, the potential bans on the table, and the shocking ripple effects that could shake the finals picture. You're locked into Aussie NRL Updates. Don't go anywhere. This is only the beginning. Hit like, drop a comment with your prediction. Does Carrigan get cleared, or does he cop the ban? I want to know what you think. Let's peel back the curtain on how this process actually unfolds. The judiciary isn't just about reviewing highlights. It's a meticulous, high-pressure courtroom for rugby league. Lawyers argue. Coaches submit evidence. Players face grilling questions. And the final ruling? It can swing entire seasons. Carrigan's case will hinge on intent versus outcome. Did he deliberately cross the line, or was it just unfortunate contact in a split-second tackle? His defense team will argue that his eyes never left the target, that his technique was fundamentally sound, and that any dangerous contact was incidental. But the prosecution? They'll play the footage over and over, slow it down frame by frame, and highlight any slip in technique. Even the smallest misstep could be painted as reckless. And in judiciary terms, reckless is costly. For Walsh, the real danger isn't the incident itself, it's his history. The judiciary loves context. If a player has a track record, that weighs heavily in deliberations. Walsh's brilliance is undeniable, but so is his past brush with discipline. And that's what makes this charge potentially devastating. He may argue that the incident was minor, that no real damage was done. But the counterpoint is simple. Rules are rules. If the judiciary wants to make an example, Walsh is a prime candidate. Hosking's charge may not grab headlines like Carrigan or Walsh,